I'm literally buying a Game Pass in this pointless game.
What game?
Legends of the Aether, Amnisica.
Hello?
Hey. Alright.
Box! First up, we're going to be taking a look at the water satchel. Now, the water satchel is a canteen. It's just a canteen. Now, I'd say that it's better than the gold item kick because it sits on the back of your waist, which, you know, the only other item that did that was on your left hip. And, yeah, better than the gold item kick from ATF, good for 1 Bucks. Yeah. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the X Perdere. Now, as you could guess by the name, it's an X Perdere. Now, what does Perdere mean? According to Google, it's Italian for to lose, so I guess that just means that this axe is really easy to manufacture, really cheap, so it doesn't really matter if you lose it. That's speculation. All that I know is that it shares the name Perdere with the volcano in the Forelands universe. I'd imagine the factions that own the volcano, whatever faction it may be, resells this. So, you know, you could probably use it if I had to guess. I'd imagine it's for pyromancers, considering it's red and volcano and all that bullshit. And if it's not, well, cool. Too bad. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Impishbow. Now, the Impishbow, as you could guess, is for forest imps, and thus it's covered in, like, flowers and vines and shit, because, you know, it's for forest imps, from the forest, you know. Spoiler alert, it doesn't scale at all with the forest imps, so if you want to be a small forest imp, well, too bad, you're just going to have to put it in your bio and pretend that everybody's just automatically going to react to being 2 foot, when in reality, you're probably just going to get called up. Other than that, it's a bow. One of the first bows in the game, actually. I believe we had a crossbow for the Halloween event, but outside of that, this is one of the few bows in the game, so that's cool, I guess. It's a bow, and yeah, that's about it. It's a bow from Minecraft, but it's actually in the game and not just for Minecraft. So I think this uses some of the superheated bows, shit from ATF. I might be wrong about that. Outside of that, it's a bow. So, yeah, use this if you want to be an archer or some shit. I don't know. Use the other one if you want. That's sure. Next up, we're gonna be taking a look at the ceremonial Eridan longbow. Now, the ceremonial, whatever. I'm just gonna call it the Thanos bow. Okay, it's the only other bow in the game that's not, you know, a crossbow, or the Impishbow. So this is, you know, a bow. The Thanos bow. That's what I'm calling it from now on. If you don't call it the Thanos bow, well, you're not calling it the Thanos bow. You were factually incorrect. Anyway, so yeah, the ceremonial Eridan longbow. It looks like a Thanos bow, and it's also used by Eridan, which, you know, is a faction. So, you know, you should probably be in that if you're gonna use this, and if you aren't, well, I don't know if you can use it or not, honestly, I have no idea. What I do know is that it looks like Thanos, the end. For whatever reason, it has a golden tip on its arrows. I feel like the arrows should be changed by the bow, but alright, sure, I mean, I guess it doesn't really change much. You know, it's a bow, not a gun. Arrow, not a bullet. But yeah, I like this bow. It's got a good color palette to it. Do I think that it makes sense? I mean, realistically, the only thing that doesn't make sense about it is that you're questioning why it looks the way that it looks. It's a fantasy game. And not only is it a fantasy game, but it's Thanos Bow, for crying out loud. Like, come on, dude. Next up, we're gonna take a look at the Ladder-as Spear. Now, what is the Ladder-as Spear? It's a spear manufactured or used by Ladder-as. Now, what is Ladder-as? It's a faction. What else is it? These are all, everything in large blocks is in reference to another faction. Most of these items are anyway, even though it's not from large blocks. But anyway, yeah, it's for a faction. It's golden tipped. I don't know why it's golden tipped. Perhaps to showcase wealth or something amongst the faction. Just because, you know, the more gold that you have on your stuff, the more wealthy you are. Which, I mean, yeah, I guess that makes sense, but not exactly true. I don't see every billionaire walking around in a Mark 21 Iron Man suit designed by Tesla. Anyway, it's got a good model. Obviously, it's Loda. What do you expect? One thing that's kind of annoying though is that ever since after the Flash released the Super Good Spear update with the I believe the large mystery box, for whatever reason the item or just the spear animations have been bugging out. Basically, you the animation, it puts it on your bag, and then it places the actual item slightly above that for whatever reason, slightly above and to the right of where the animation puts it. I don't know why, but it does. Anyway, good item. It's Farlands. What do you expect? Or sorry, Legend of the Aether. Whatever. Anyway, next item. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Acrynyx Longsword. Now, the Acrynyx Longsword, as you could probably guess, is long, but better than the fact that it's long, is the fact that, you know, it's made by the Loda builders. It's obviously good. It's got a lot of details, like a lot of fucking details. Practically, like, half of them you don't even see immediately. But it probably one of the most detailed items that I've ever seen, or models rather, that I've ever seen, at least in terms of like weaponry, just in general on the Roblox platform. I guess it has like runes or something on it. But yeah, it's good to say the very fucking least. It's got a good length, a good range to it, so you can obviously hit people from relatively far. I'd say it's dense enough that you'd be able to like block most strikes from like let's say somebody smacks you with the Ladder-as Spear. You could probably block that relatively easily with this. In fact, it's honestly probably as long as the Ladder-as Spear. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me. But yeah. Anyway, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Just in terms of building, like toolsmiths, the Legends of the Aether developers are just so much better than After the Flashes. Now, definitely, they are more free to make whatever they want, so they can get a lot more creative with what they want, considering, you know, fantasy versus post-apocalyptic wasteland. You know, you're kind of restricted on the post-apocalyptic wasteland side. They definitely have more options, the Legends of the Aether devs. But still, everything in this game is just so fucking well made. It's ridiculous. There's so many details on this sword. Next up, we're going to be taking a look at the Sylvadamus Saber. Now, the Sylvadamus Saber, it's a sword to say the least. It reminds me of the Terravoid from Terraria, almost. It's got a lot of details. I'm gonna say that again. Details. It's fucking good, okay, man? I don't know what more you want from me, okay? It's a good item. It looks good. If, you know, I don't know if the majority of the player base, or the majority of characters, rather, can use it. Because, you know, it's probably restricted to whatever faction. But, good sword, item, everything, good. It's green. Yeah, it's like the Terravoid from Terraria, so I wonder if this is going to be used by Terramancers. Thermomancers, Herbomancers. Yeah, Herbomancers, not Thermomancers. Maybe Thermomancers, who knows. Anyway, good item, good sword. I like the color scheme. The colors complement each other well. Good item, all the way around. Yeah. Hi, guy. I make outro thing where I talk to you about thing. I had a burp. Anyway, so with that wraps up the Christmas boxes for 20 to 2021 for Farlands and ATF. So yeah, we got those done now. Outside of the props which are coming later, hopefully they come. And if they don't, well, Chad, I'm gonna cry, and yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Anyway, so now I'm gonna rank the items from this Christmas box. I'd say the Sylvadamas Saver or Therablade or whatever is probably my favorite. The Thanos bow comes in number 2, and the Axe Perdure Pedro comes number 3 because those are my favorites. Those are what I like, and they're cool. And yeah, that's about it. So, Merry Christmas. This video came out late because I believe ceremonial blow was like broken for like 2 weeks after the box came out. I didn't know that it was fixed. So I make a video now because I didn't know that it was fixed until now. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I don't know what else to say here. If I'm gonna be entirely honest, so I'm gonna go.